GBGuns Armory episode 35 already, as we make our way through stuff that isn't necessarily in the limelight anymore. It's not the hotness, but may still be a good gun. I hate the circle that we get spun in media of just talking about what's out right now and never going back and talking about the stuff that's been out there before. So that's what I'm doing with these videos, trying to bring to light previous releases, as well as now that the stuff's been out, get your opinions and thoughts on it. This one is the Archon Type B. Pardon the funky bolt-on frame-mounted comp that it has. I know it makes it look almost like the Maxim gun. Spectacular gun, shrouded in mystery, lots of rumors, lots of bad information out there on the internet about this and the Arsenal Strike 1, where that came from, the design and all that. But that's because there wasn't a lot of information and there was indeed a lot of confusion. For example, I have a Hungarian frame with a German slide and a US barrel. The gun that Military Arms Channel reviewed has a German frame and Hungarian slide. Like, everything's all mixed around. And the internals of it, very, very unique. Check the pinned comment, I'll link to the full review of this thing. Internals, so unique, and then there were two guns from two different companies, allegedly, big whole mess. Well, in the past, and I learned this at SHOT Show, I actually got to speak to the designer. This was indeed a RUAG project. So my assumptions were correct. I noticed that all the parts were coming out of countries where RUAG had factories. That was the case with these. Was a RUAG project, is now independent. These are now being imported to the US by PTR. That's right, the same folks that do all the HK clones. Kind of an odd bedfellow. I was not expecting that. Didn't see it coming. But not only are these coming back, which is great because I thought it was a spectacular gun, they're also bringing in a newer version. I don't have one here. I'll also throw in the pin comment some of my coverage from SHOT Show photos of that newer one. But they've gotten rid of this grid texture. Those squares are actually kind of, they're leaning, and they're all directional. You can see it in the tabletop video. All correctly directioned for the direction you need for bite, for recoil control. It's a very smart system. Some people didn't like it. They got rid of that. Now they're going kind of a grip tape thing. And the new one is also modular in that the frame has like stacking pieces like you do on a shotgun stock to try to add length of pull or subtract from. They're doing that to be able to go back and forth between compact and full size on these, which I think is pretty smart. Lets you buy one gun and then run it how you want. And rather than use sleeves on magazines, which we've all had negative experiences with, they're actually lengthening the frame. So when you get your whole hand on it, you are holding the gun, not the gun and some mag, and then when you go to kick a mag out, it's not trying to hold onto your hand. So I thought that was really cool. When the new ones do become available, I intend to get my hands on them. I'm also going to visit these guys at IWA Classics coming up at the end of February over in Europe and hope to get more of some story there, because it's certainly a gun that I think almost wasn't trusted because there was so much myth, and everyone was absolutely sure that their story was true and that was the only one, but they weren't all agreeing. I think the other thing that hurt this thing is when it came out, it was around $800 at a time when very, very few other handguns were. And that was a tough pill to swallow for consumers to go for that price on an unknown or relatively new brand. Now it's a bit more known, but all we know of it is that they've come to the US and then disappeared twice in the past. So I understand some hesitation there. I'd love to hear what you guys think about these things. They are incredible machines. I wanted to run this one actually at Thunder Ranch when T and I went for a handgun course. I had a holster. Problem was I couldn't get enough mags because once again they had disappeared. This comp is one of those, it works, but I don't know if it works because it's truly compensating, and you can see that there is some ash in there, so gases are hitting those ports for sure. But I don't know if it's the gases hitting the ports doing the compensation or just the fact that this thing is so nose heavy with this huge chunk of aluminum on the front of it. The placebo effect is still in effect, right? I mean, it does shoot smoother. but I don't know. Anyways, I'm pretty excited about this thing because I love these and the Strike One. The Strike One, as you guys have seen on the main channel, is back in the country. They have a new importer. That's super exciting, but it's the same Strike One that we saw before. I guess plus or minus, that can be good since we didn't really get our hands on them earlier on. But the Archon is back and is improved. Should be promising. Do you guys trust them? Is it something you think is going to be around? Something you believe in? Do you ever just take a gamble and buy it because it's a neat gun anyways? I'm obviously a bit of an addict of having neat and different things, so when I see it, I grab it before it disappears. I don't care about the risk, I'm just excited to get my hands on one, and that's how I felt about the Archon Type B, and I've been glad I've had it ever since. Thanks for watching GBGuns Armory. We'll see you tomorrow.